How's it going, everyone? Let me just make sure that I'm live. Looks like it. Let's take a look at the dollar. Start off. Sorry I'm late. Pretty exhausted. Came home, took a nap, and I'm just getting around to getting to this thing. But you don't need to tell me that gold broke 1260 and silver's approaching 1850. Copper's still lagging, and bitgold or Bitcoin is still above 1200. So indices have fallen a little bit. Eyes on the dollar. Bigger play is the range here, the big pattern, the head and shoulders top, left, right, and then right over here, the whipsaw that came through support, back through resistance, consolidated, popped, came back into support. That's a bullish retracement right there. Is it going to hold? Is the bigger pattern, the head and shoulders top, going to carry? Or is it this whipsaw that's going to save it? So that is the question. So far for the week, it's a rejection off of that 8. So is the bigger plan in place? I got a double top here working. I got a whipsaw here, but then a rejection here. So look out below. I think this, if this breaks down, if this bullish retracement breaks down, it'll be the first one I've seen actual break. And when patterns break, when support does not hold, prices will come down pretty rapidly. As you know, prices go down faster than they go up. So this came from a very low spot on the opposite side of the range, came all the way through above the 34. Let's see if this is going to be just a whip right past support lines to fall over. We'll see if who wins, bulls or bears. Is the head and shoulders top going to win, or is this hammer going to win? Looks like a rejection on the weekly so far. So be prepared for a bounce, as that is a bullish retracement back into support. Bullish retracements are bullish consolidation phases. So keep an eye. Moving on, try to get through this real quick. Looks like the reverse head and shoulders at the top. It's just still trying to hang on. Not much going on. It did break through. It's still holding support. Why is my line all screwed up? Wasn't it right yesterday? So I got support line there. Last lines of defense before it falls over. And as you know, my preference on this is bearish because of the steep line. Not a lot of support on that steep line. These steep lines coming up. Steeper the line, the less support when it comes. Like price can just slice right on through. That's still a reverse head and shoulders, so keep an eye on that. The only problem with that is reverse head and shoulders is supposed to be at bottoms, and this is at a top. So we got a little conundrum. Let's see what happens when patterns fail. But it's still holding its own. It's still above support. We still have higher lows. And just for the week, coming through the hump. Looks like I got this descending top there. Lower highs, rejection. Through the 8, into the 13, back into the 8, rejection. So far, I'm holding previous lows here. But it looks like it's getting closer and closer and closer. Once it breaks, I got previous lows over here at 2279. I got a gap support here, 2317. And I got a line here at 232. It's likely to come down into previous highs. Where it holds previous highs, that is a good question. Look how steep that line is. There is absolutely no support up there. And that's a weekly chart. So I got nice support lines over here. See where the 34 is coming through? Basically 22. It's a 150 point jump. That's 1,050 on the Dow. That's a pretty good jaunt for the first time. For the first leg down. It's likely not to stop at the first leg once this thing gets rolling. That is way, way extended. And anyone holding the bag is going to feel some hurt. All those pensions. I don't have a real job, so I don't have a pension. Just feel. So if they didn't manipulate this stuff, it would be all right. You know, we can all handle the pain. But when we don't have any retracements, we don't have any consolidations, we don't have any healthy breathing going on. These things just fall over and everyone loses. It's just, what's the point? These people are evil. Still has a chance. We still have higher lows on the Dow. I think Friday's closed. Yeah, Good Friday's closed. So we got 2 more days of trading for the weekly close. Let's see what happens. Dow. Here's the NASDAQ. I got previous highs over here that wasn't holding, and it came through back into resistance. So the bearish retracement's in on that daily chart. It broke down back in. That's the bearish retracement. Resistance held. Just slightly, but that's how they do it. Still have the W here. I got a whipsaw past resistance, and it got rejected pretty hard. Came down into previous highs and bounced back into resistance. So let's watch this thing fall over a little bit. I got support lines at 53. And I got a slight meeting line here at 52.50. 53 is a good low. Let's see if 53 will hold. But again, look how steep those lines are. I mean, come on. Are you kidding me? It's likely to come all the way back into previous breaks. Where's the VIX? Boom! Slam it, damn it, ding dong. Look at that thing. It's like a gap and run. Nice triangle at the bottom there. Just perfect. Had a boom, came back into support. Had an inverted hammer right here. Previous high breaks, boom. Broke previous highs, came back into support. Bullish retracements in. Let's see if we can find that on the 15-minute chart. There's the bullish retracement. Let's see if it'll pick up the pace. I think the VIX is on some kind of a, I mean, they go up, right? But they always get swung back in. The range on the VIX is pretty short. It's always a 1, 2, 1, 2, back in the support, 1, 2, back in the support, 1, 2, back in the support. Let's see how high we can get this thing. Crude. It's crude. Where's crude? Should you fill up your trucks? Watch for previous high breaks. It's climbing. It is putting in a hanging man on the daily close. But is that hanging man or just a hammer off of support as it came back into the previous range? We'll have to see. Let's see if it'll open up, or is that going to come all the way back in for a bullish retracement? The retracement's not in yet. We had a little 1-2 punch right over the 34, but it broke. Look for a retracement back into support. But you never know. It could just break previous highs here and then do a retracement, missing the mark. Pretty nice little run out of, I mean, it should have done that when it broke over here. When it broke previous highs, it should have did that, this little bullish run. But it's very sluggish, gathered its legs, and then swung back across. Let's see if we can break previous highs. We should have been at 60 already. This 50 break should have got us to 60. 60 will get us 70 on the long-term chart. And again, never neglect the long-term charts. We've got a huge bullish reverse head and shoulders on the bottom of this thing. So I don't want to hear any naysayers or some kind of fundamental bull from the news. That's a huge price pattern that's been forming since what does that say? January of 15. It's a weekly chart. Watch a flat top break. It should give us a measured move. So let's call it, let's just call it 60 to 45. So $15. $15 from 60. Now let's do it. Let's do it right. $14. I got previous lows over here to get through. Previous highs, previous lows. Maybe that's the measured move. 65. Break 60, it should break 65, should get us into 70, 75. 77, previous low over here. I'll leave my mark. I think that's the measured move right there. I don't know. Take previous highs, previous high break, go into previous lows for the first line of resistance. Break that into the next previous low. Easy peasy. I do have a previous low at 70 though. So remember that. 60 should have got a 60. 60 should have got a 70. Sorry, I'm real tired. Looks like coal's coming off of bottom. Kind of doing a little once over the 34 back through. Got to get above the 34. Is that a bearish retracement back into resistance? Is it going to gather its legs one more time into support? Or is it going to fall over? Let's see that daily chart. Looks like I have a reverse head and shoulders again. Right, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, right over the right over the 34 on the daily. This could come through, hit the right shoulder, bring that right. They always swing down that right shoulder pretty steep, right? They just bring it down. So watch support lines coming into previous high, previous low. In and around 40, I guess. See if 40 will hold. Looks like they're going to bring it back in. I got lower highs, higher lows. I got a small little pattern here. It looks like the momentum's down. Watch that momentum break. Come back into support as the right shoulder is going to be pulled in, stretched, pulled back. So then when it recovers, it's like a slingshot effect. Right back across resistance. Shanghai still trying to work that break. Flat top break coming in. Nice cup and handle. Flat top break still working. See if we can get that thing popping. TNX, are we broken? We're breaking. Looks like we closed below previous lows today on its lows. That's a weekly chart. There's the bearish retracement crossing over support lines. Boom, boom. Broke down the 34, gapped here, bearish retraced. Bearish retrace rejected, rejected, rejected. And here she comes. Watch out below on this one. I got gap support 220. I got gap support at 210. Let's just call it 2. Below 2. Previous high breaks at 187. So look for it to come through 2 and make maybe a spike low into previous highs over here. See what happens. Momentum's down. It's closing on its lows. Not good. Nikkei gapping down. Where's that support range? Let's see, 18,220. See if that'll hold. Bunch of crap in here. So what do we have? We had support hold here, rejected, came through resistance, or came through support, broke through into here, got rejected, 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 rejected. This one had a gap and run. Closing near its lows. It's in this range over here. I got previous highs it's holding. Let it come through the range, see what happens. Doesn't look like it's going to bounce. It could bounce into resistance again and get rejected. But it looks like it's falling off the cliff. Well, it's already fallen off the cliff. This was the break up here. Where it stops, nobody knows. Someone mentioned some kind of a bat formation. I'm not familiar with the bat formation. I forget what you called it. So maybe you can explain that to me. But I had no idea what you're talking about. Maybe it was just you're just playing with my words, but nice little bottom formation here. Flat top break coming in on steel. Just a turn of events after the huge breakdown. Pretty steep decline as it went through. Now it's climbing, 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 back and forth, and now it's ready to break back into previous lows, into the next previous lows. Looks like our goal would be 36. Into 36, maybe onwards at 37. Let's get through it. Nice little pop coming on this one. Flat top break coming through support, back through resistance. Just kind of whipped it, whip, whip. Gold. Finally got that flat top break on 1260. Look for retracements back in. If dollar bounces, look for that retracement. Broke into previous lows over here. It's a big reverse head and shoulders, flat top break. Boom. Let's see how far we can get it. We should get a measured move out of it. I mean, that's a large pattern break. Let's take that right shoulder. Let's take a line and just do a real quick guesstimation. Just a guesstimation. That's all it is. Just a guesstimation, but measured moves are measured moves. Let's see what happens. It's on its way. Let's break. Let's at least hit into previous highs over here, where we made previous highs, and then longer term. Let's break this previous high, right? And then take out the all-time high. It's working. We had a high, lower high fell off the map. So distribution, accumulation. It's a long phase of accumulation here. And then the bounce came back higher low. Watch the previous high breaks. On the way up. Use previous highs as your support all the way up. Looks good. Looks like gold's in the lead. Looks like we're still up today too. Silver, on the other hand, has to get over that 1850 still. 1850. It's getting close. Came down into support and pop. We're at resistance again, got closed and knocked back a little bit. So still having a little bit of trouble there. It's at resistance. But there's a larger pattern here. Reverse head and shoulders. There's a cup and handle going on. There's cup and handles. But break that line. 1850 should get us into previous lows. I say hit 20. Let's hit 20 and then talk. If we hit 20, probably back in. Bullish retrace, let it breathe, let it come back up. Blah, blah, blah. Takes forever. Copper looks like it's fallen over. Why isn't copper running with us? I guess copper was running without us. Us silver and gold. It looks pretty weak. Looks like momentum's churning. You can see the 8 and 13 crossing closer and closer. It's hugging support with no lifeline. Looks like it wants to come through. Gather its legs and try again. 260, 280. Looks like a 20-cent measured move. So 260 should get us to 40. If it breaks down. Watch for that. Real quick, GDX. Boom, boom. Very happy about this. Finally, a cup and handle that broke. Like, see the reverse head and shoulders. And then the break. And then the pullback. That pullback was so sharp. But we build nicely. We cup and handle, right? Flat top break. Broke it, came into support. Bam. Anyone could see that if they were watching. I think we followed it every step of the way. Looks like GDX needs a little help. Same cup and handle. Broke in, broke out. Not as big of a move as the GDX, but still very bullish. Give it some time. Give it some room. Nugget took off like a bandit. Boom, boom, boom. Nice cup and handles. Flat top breaks. We followed that every step of the way. Broke in. Broke the 34. Came into support. Bam. Gap and run. Let's see how far these things will gap and run. Now, JNUG should be in the lead. It should be breaking resistance. All sorts of crap. And it just, whatever, you know. The reverse head and shoulders broke. Brought it way back in, made a nice little cup and handle. This thing should have broke, gapped, and ran way over 8, way over, it should have hit 10 by now. It should be into previous lows by now. Just a bunch of crap. Let's get silver over 1850, and then we'll see what happens. Looks like a retracement coming on Bitcoin. You can see how momentum's kind of rounding over. Let's see if support will hold, or is it going to come all the way back into support? You can see the pop over the 34 on the daily. Not much of a retracement yet. So let's watch for a retracement back into support as it gathers its legs to try again. Make sure we hold 1860. We don't want to break back into the range and endanger the whole move. But it looks a little, we got a lower high end. We got a thin line of support. It's pretty steep up here. And it looks like that is a nice little wedge, the top wedge. Ascending wedge, what do you call that? It's just a wedge pointing straight up. It's going to come back in. It's not confirmed yet, but watch for the previous low breaks. Coming on back. You got a top pattern forming, top pennant, top wedge. Price is squeezing into resistance, can't get through, so it's just kind of straight down. It looks like it's going to come through. Let's just look at AG and we'll just call it a day. Nice, AG. Broke the 34, came into support. Now we're breaking previous highs into previous lows. Use your previous lows as your resistance on the way up. Get over previous highs. Use that as your support. Let's break into 10. Let's see what happens. Not a problem. And 80 more cents on this thing is not a big move at all. Looks like we got a volume break too. Nice. AG. That was the best runner last time around. Here's a reverse head and shoulders. Just whipped right. That right shoulder came all the way back in, and now it's whipping back across. Looks like a $3 move. $3 measured move. Let's see if we can get to 13. I got previous lows at 1150, 12, and let's just call it 13. And a balance point on that neckline. So let's get through 10. 10 will get us 13. Not right away. That's a weekly chart, so it takes forever. Each candle is a week. Looks like Trump called off the invasion on Syria. Probably figured out that his base was not going to go along with him. But just a terrible decision to airbomb. Just really irrational. No evidence. He just, on a whim, Honestly, looking at it now, is all is set up for the neocons. I hope. I hope. Like I said, we've been at war since I was a junior in high school. Pretty damn sick of it. Ain't no benefit for us. It's just for the rich. So let's put a stop to it. I don't know what's going to happen to uranium since the war is going to be called off. Something's going on in North Korea still. So tensions are still real high. But I have a previous high break on uranium, and it seems to be climbing. 2 was the break. Use 2 as your support. UEC looks like it's climbing. Came off of a base bottom here above the 8 now. So we're breaking into previous lows, and now we have previous high support above that 8. Just tiny bit of support. Ivanhoe looks like Ivanhoe is going to make another try for the previous high break, closing on its highs. Nice. All right, well, that's it. I'm pretty tired, pretty lackadaisical. So good job, gold. 1260 break, 1260 break. Let's make sure we keep it. Keep on riding up. 1850 is the mark on silver. Let's do it. We can do it by Friday or before Thursday close. There's no trading on Friday. So I'll see you guys. I appreciate you.